Latios is our newest attacker. He excels at offense and mobility, but very frail. Levitate makes him faster each time he uses a move, and with all these being said, we want items and emblems that 1. Increase offense, mobility, and endurance, and 2. Decrease cooldowns. Let's start with held items. All of these increase special attack, but each one has a unique function. Slick Spoon for more endurance, Drive Lens for lower cooldowns, and Shell Bell for both. What about mobility, you may ask? The options were Choice Scarf, Amulet Coin, and EXP Share, all of which I tested and ended up hindering damage output. So instead, I opted for Eject Button as a battle item. And now for the movesets. Remember that Levitate incentivizes low cooldown, so I start with Swift, then Dragon Pulse at level 5, and Luster Purge at level 7. I tested all 4 possible combinations, and this duo gave me the best results in ranked as I'm about to show you. Its Unite move takes a long time to charge, so I recommend choosing a target ahead of time while using it from a distance. Finally, let's talk about emblems. You want 7 black and 6 green for low cooldowns and high special attack, respectively. Resource articles will be in the description and a pinned comment if you want more details. And now, let's dominate a ranked battle with Latios. Alright, it's good that we have all roles present in this game. I am Latios, we have Defender, All-Rounder, Supporter, and Speedster. Perfect. And the enemy would have 2 Defenders. They have more bulk, but we have like more tools overall. They have more bulk, we have more offense, is what I'm observing here. Okay, so Latios, this is Latios' time to shine. So what I want to do at the beginning of the game is to farm as best as I can. I use the eject button so I could travel a bit more efficiently. And I use Swift. Remember, Levitate should be active right now, as well as the Shell Bell. And I'm trying to farm these. If you're using like a stacker set for Latios, you might want to score. But I just want to farm. It's easier to do it this way. And so far, so good. It's really huge, like in the early game for Latios to have a supportive ally, just like what this defender is doing. It's actually doing great. So while this defender is distracting the enemy, I could actually farm. But I'm just making sure that they're not like, I don't want to leave my allies helpless while I farm. And I also have this speedster with me, so good. We managed to steal the contested spawns, and that's gonna give me like an upper hand going into the mid game. Now, I am doing my best not to get KO'd in this part of the game because I am rather frail. It's again, it's a good thing that my allies are like we have all roles present. Now, this is a great opportunity since they're not like competing in the contested spawn. We managed to push them away. I want to farm this as fast as I can. My goal at this moment is to reach level 5 as fast as possible because that's when I get to stack Eon power. Got this Altaria also myself, and like I said, I'm gonna choose Dragon Pulse for this game because it's a ranked match and it's actually easier to pull off. For Dragon Pulse, it's more for single targets. But again, if you're able to pull off a Draco Meteor in ranks, by all means do so. I promise you it's gonna pay off. The reason why not many people are using it is because it's hard to aim. Alright. Now I just want to keep farming. I already have 8 stacks of Eon power here, as you can see. And it's only gonna get stronger the more wild Pokemon I knock out. While nothing is really happening, I just want to take time in farming the Pokemon. Scoring is not really Latios' strong suit, so if you have like a few points and you're given the choice to score and farm, like depending on where you're at the game, you should probably just farm. Again, depending on where you are at the game. This is the early game, so I just farm. Also, you also gain Eon stacks when you're able to hit your enemies with moves, I believe. So there I have 3 stacks already. And now I'll just keep on adding to the stacks of Eon power by KOing these wild Pokemon. See how useful it is to have all roles? I observed that in ranked games, supporters and defenders don't get much love, but if you want to use Latios successfully, it's imperative that you have some form of supportive ally, because if it's gonna farm on its own, it's gonna take a while for it to stack on Eon power. Now I have 31 stacks at the 6-minute mark. And now we try to get these objectives. There's 2 of them going on at the same time. Latios is recommended at the top path, so that's what we're trying to get. And had I chosen Draco Meteor, I could have like strategically aimed at Regieleki at this point. But since I have Dragon Pulse, I'm just gonna help my teammates with these enemy Pokemon, because I do get more stacks of Eon power if I deal with them first. Alright. Now I'm gonna go back to the objective. I don't know what the Mr. Mime is thinking. It's good that came back, but it's too late. They got it. And this is the Unite move. As you can see, it took a while to charge. And I now am using Luster Purge to set up so I can like mark the enemies and get KOs more easily. Alright. Good. You can see how frail Latios is. That's why like the low cooldowns combined with the Drive Lens and the Shell Bell really work together. I have another set wherein I use Choice Scarf, Drive Lens, and Slick Spoon, and then my battle item was a potion. Because if I'm using that set, I don't have the Shell Bell recovery option. I am in fact taking more damage with that set, but I'm doing less damage. And I don't mind like being a bit frailer as long as I get KOs more efficiently. So I opted out of that set for this video. Alright. I hope we can get the objective at the bottom because they already got the Regieleki. Alright, I have 67 sets at the 4-minute mark and 12 sets on my 12 stacks rather. I have 67 stacks of Eon power at 4 minutes and 26 seconds. And I have 12 Drive Lens stacks. You want that to keep going. More is better, obviously. And now I'm gonna try to use my Unite move, and I get it. Actually, I don't. Yeah, my charge was refunded. See what I'm talking about? It takes so long to charge that it's too late before you can hit it. But on the flip side, if you're not able to like KO your opponent with it because it took too long to charge, you could use that refunded energy to use it at a later time. At 83 stacks, you can see how much more efficient Latios is. So the mid game to the late game is where it really shines. But again, that's all dependent if you were able to stack in the early game. If say for example, you find yourself in a team composition that is full of attackers and speedsters, you're gonna have a much harder time stacking because everyone is gonna be competing for the wild Pokemon. So I would not recommend using Latios if there's already another attacker on the team. Let's start with that. Because instead of focusing on defeating the enemy, chances are you're gonna compete with each other for these wild Pokemon that are limited. Yeah, so that's just something not so obvious. But consider your team composition before deciding to use Latios. I was lucky to get like every possible role as my allies. But again, if that's not the case, you should reconsider about using Latios. Team composition matters for this Pokemon. And what I'm really excited about is when Latias releases, because as of now, we're just seeing Latios on his own. Some synergies are yet to be tested once Latias is released come August the 8th. This video is being made like over a week before that. So we might have to make an updated guide video once Latias is released. You can see how much more efficient it is. I am now at 125 stacks at the 1 minute and 50-second mark. And I'm also at full stacks with my drive lens. So that's gonna add up. And if you think about it, the drive lens is kind of a necessary item for Latios just because of how much it helps with scaling. Good job, Talonflame, from getting the Rayquaza. And now I'm just gonna score. And, you know, if there are things that I'm missing in this video, feel free to point it out. Of course, there's also Spraggles and Chris Heroes, videos of whom you can view for a more detailed guide as to the moveset, but this is just what I've observed from my testing. It's weird because I've managed to test like 10 battles in casual and 10 battles in draft pick with the NPCs. Ranked is just a different beast. Like what works in casual and like the bot games with the NPC, it chances are there's a lot of variables involved in rank that might invalidate what you've gained in testing. So it's best to test in different modes if you're using a new Pokemon. You can test in ranked, of course, but that's at the expense of your win rate and of course your poor teammates who are working with someone using a new Pokemon. Alright. So I ended up with 175 stacks of Eon Power and 20 Drive Lens stacks for this game. Let's see how I did. Oh, awesome. I'm actually an MVP. So that is it. That is my guide for Latios. Thank you so much to our channel members for everything that they do. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.